Well, let's see if we can go talk to the police chief, because they have a failure to identify officer who is illegally parked. Again, guys, just to reiterate, we have filed the first portion of the lawsuit against Marshallville not too long ago. It's the part of declaration stating that we're going to sue them. And again, it was a very cordial inside for the open records request portion. It was very cordial inside, very polite. I was able to inquire about my open records request. They said they have the information and they're going to provide it to me, but yet I have not been provided that information. They're well past their time frame as far as reaching out to me. But I filed another open records request, and as I came out, the chief of police pulled in, and this officer sitting right here already with his phone sticking out recording. He failed to identify himself as an officer. Oh my God, this is chief.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I don't want to do that. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to know, is it y'all's policy as police officers to identify to the public when asked?
I have my name on mine, so I don't have a problem identifying who I am. Is that a problem?
No, I was just asking because there's an officer outside sitting there recording me with his phone, and I asked him for his name, and he refused to identify who he was. I didn't know if it was...
We don't have that in policy.
Okay.
I think that's just officer discretion. If they choose to do that, and I guess with the fear that some of the clerks felt today, they called him.
Clerks felt fear today?
Some people are afraid. You know, you come in, you cambered up, and with all the stuff they see in the media today, people are afraid.
Of course they should be, with government corruption and stuff.
Right, it scares them when things happen like that. So they have a right to be afraid. And so he came over to just to make sure they'd be okay.
Okay. Well, I was asking if it was the policy to identify himself.
I have not. Now, you know, I haven't been the chief for except a year, and in the previous policy, I have not seen that.
Okay.
And I have not even known a case where they don't identify themselves. But in this small city, all the people know the officers anyway. So I guess that's why we never had an issue.
Okay. Well, I don't know him, and I asked him for his name, and he's told me that he wasn't going to give it to me. And he's masked over, so there's no way of knowing to be able to positively identify who that person is. So it may be beneficial to implement that as a policy if it's not.
That's a good idea. I would take that. I would take that under advisement. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. The other thing too is that even if it's marked on his uniform, if he's inside of his vehicle, the only way for me to get that or ascertain that information is to ask. And if he doesn't provide that, if I approach to look, he may take that as a threat or perceive that as a threat. So that puts me in danger.
And you know what? And we have this officer safety. We want to be safe. We want to go home to our family every day, just like everybody else does. And you know, you see things in the media. Officers are getting shot. People just walk up to them and just blow their brains out for no reason. So there is so much fear in this world today. Everybody guards are up. And you know, and I hate that life has to be that way. Because you know what? We're going to live one time, and that's it. And we have a right to live our life and be happy. You know, why can't we be happy? You know, the profession that we're in, you know, we're the most hated right now. And there are some good officers in this world. They're good and bad in everything that people do.
Oh, I agree with you.
But we have a right to enjoy what we do every day, serve our city to the best of our ability. We have a right to do that and enjoy it without, you know, things trying to take that joy away just because, you know, of other things that go on in other parts of the United States. And so here in Marshallville, we don't want that. This is a nice city, and the people, we get along here, and we want to keep it like that.
Is that just for residents or anybody that comes
Anybody that comes here. And I talk to people all the time that don't even live here.
Mm.
You know, if they're in the store, I greet them. Because you know what? That first impression is always the greatest one to me. So I want them to be okay when they come through here.
Well, you know what our first impression was? You remember that? Our
Yeah,
first
but
encounter?
you have to understand, sir, the horror stories that I've heard about, you know, your organization, and the thing is,
what organization?
Let me finish. This is what I heard.
Okay.
This is what I heard. I can't say that it's true. They say the organization that you're affiliated with, you all target small cities where there are black administrators, like the mayor and myself. They say you never go to the white cities. You only come to the black cities, like Fort Valley, Marshallville, because black administrators are in Fort Valley. You never went to Oglethorpe, you never went to Ideal, because those are white administrators there. They say people like you all only target the small cities like us. So, when I hear something like that, I don't know what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're going to come in here and put something down or put a bomb in here. We don't know. We have no idea.
So it seems like
know,
you are.
First of all we know is that you're not a resident here, because everybody know everybody. And I don't know. It was here. I don't see one. So you know I don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about you. I don't have a problem with you at all.
Well, well, you said I'm part of an organization.
No, I say that's what I heard.
Okay.
I don't know that for a fact.
Okay.
That's only what
Did they say what organization?
I didn't even ask.
Okay.
Because it didn't.
So it's
it didn't
hearsay
pertain to me. Yeah, that's
right.
hearsay.
Because our first encounter we had over at the police department, I was talking to you. I was actually going to introduce myself to you, and when I was over there the first time, one of your officers, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, was recording with his phone again. He was one of the same officers that was part of the arrest that was illegal for me just exercising my First Amendment right. I had talked to you about filing an open records request with you to get that information.
Do everything in writing.
And
right.
Well, the law says writing or verbal.
Well,
and
our policy is writing.
Right.
So.
Well, and you can have that policy,
Yeah,
but policy has to comply with law.
Well, our attorney said that if that's our policy, then we follow policy.
Okay, and that's fine.
Otherwise,
that's something we'll take up later. But what I'm saying is that that was our first encounter. Our second encounter, when I was over here, you were masked up in uniform and refused to talk, and you came out with a camera and walking around.
Sometimes
I'm just trying to understand.
You just keep coming, and you just keep coming. And these people, they have a sign on the door say only one person in here at a time. So if you're in here, the customers can't even come in and pay their water bill. And that disrupts the flow of their business.
Well, open records request is part of this business,
but when
though,
you
right?
fill out the paperwork, they have 3 days, and then you should leave. I mean, there's no reason for you to just stay in here, and these people can't come in.
Well, just to let you know, when you were referring to this last time, I did come in and try to file an open records request, and
did you do it?
The city clerk wouldn't let me.
Oh, what did you?
Eventually, after all the
time.
time.
To do with that.
Well, no, I know. I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So that's what's going on. Is that I came to file for the request.
Okay.
And
did
she refused.
Paperwork today?
I'm talking about last time is what I was referring to.
So you came back today to
follow up on the request.
Okay.
Because, like as you said, they have 3 days to respond or provide the records. The last time I was here, I don't know how many months ago was that? Maybe 2 months ago, maybe. Roughly. I had filed that then and have yet received any response or any reply for that. Just like the first time I came in here. I came to look at the budget books. Every city that I've been to has the budget books out and in plain sight. Originally, I thought that's what that book right there was. And that's what I was looking at. It turns out it's
Let me ask you, do you go around to all the agencies? Because I know you don't live here. Do you go to all the agencies and look at their budgets and look at and film their city? Do you do that at all the places? Because your video only show like the little small cities. So
well, I started off with Perry, actually.
And Perry's a nice city, too.
Right, and it's predominantly a white facility, as you indicated about race. that's where I started off at.
Okay.
And yes, I was looking at the budgets. I found a lot of information because as taxpayers or citizens, we have
But
the
you
right.
don't pay taxes here.
If you spend anything here, you pay a tax,
I
right?
never know you pay anything. I've never seen you go to any store. Have you ever went in our stores and bought anything?
I'll answer the question. The answer is yes, I have.
That's great.
And I
how
paid
were,
tax
were the
there.
people very nice?
The people were, but the police were not.
Oh, well, I'm sorry
know.
it wasn't.
Yeah. But in either case, I don't get what the whole race thing is because I'm not part of any organization.
But you see how the world is today, and that's the first thing people always think, race.
Well, see, that's the wrong thing.
I agree with you. I wasn't raised that way.
Nor was I.
I wasn't raised
Nor was
to
I.
see color. My mom always told me, treat people the way they treat you. And race, it shouldn't matter. If somebody is nice, it shouldn't matter what their heart is like.
But you said something that I'm only going to black communities, and that's not
what
true.
I was told.
Well, and it's not true.
Hearsay. Did you hear me? Hearsay. I don't know what you do.
But based off what they told you, your response to me was unprofessional, I believe, initially.
Well, I'm telling you that
Instead of,
the first thing that we were told, and that's your opinion if you thought I was unprofessional, because you have to understand when people lack of knowledge, like I said, I only knew what I was told. And so I don't know anything about you, nothing. So, and like you said, our policy, we want it in writing. Because I was always told if it's not in writing, it didn't happen.
Wow.
So we have everything in writing, documented, and that's the way we try to conduct things.
Well, I would encourage you, being the head of your department, to look into the Open Records Act because
I am.
and it specifically says
we also go on the advisement of our attorney, and
well, you may
that's
want
what
to
we do.
You may want to look at getting a new attorney if he's advising you
Well,
incorrectly,
I
because
think the one prior to him was the one that put a lot of these things in place too. So.
okay. Well,
Okay.
if it doesn't comply with law, then it's invalid.
Well, that's something we have to take under advisement too.
Right.
But
And I'm advising
I've got to
you.
go.
But yeah, but like I said, I was just asking if it was your policy because in order for me to, because now I'm filing another open records request.
Okay. Well, I think they have the proper paperwork here.
But I have no idea how to identify the officer that's there. So can you identify him for me so I can put that on the request so we can make sure we get the right officer?
Okay. Sure.
And he's the officer that's sitting across the street.
Officer Keith.
Officer Keith?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll file the request to the police department through here?
And you can file it right here. She has the same paperwork.
Okay. All right, will do.
Thank you. You
Thank
have
you.
a great day.
You too. Wow. I do need to get another open records request. I apologize for that.
Jennifer, can I get another open record request, please?